strong opinion that I have right now, and I've had now for almost almost a year, over a year, is that I think playback is very bad. And I don't believe we should be listening back to the things we record. And that has been an interesting one to execute, because people really, turns out they really like to hear what they just recorded to make sure that they like it.
You're talking about while you're recording, or like immediately afterwards, or both?
I definitely mean both, but I'm referring to afterwards. So it's like you're in the studio, you're with the band, you like do 3 takes, you're like, guys, I think we got it. And everyone's like, great, let's listen and make sure. No.
No.
We do not listen. Listening is bad. Listening is full of so I believe that when we listen to music, it's very, very difficult. I mean, it's impossible for the brain to like compartmentalize what it's hearing and do the kind of like analysis work that we're like requesting of our brain in that time.
Yes.
And that's okay. And that's like normal, and that happens all the time. But because we have that cost to listening, which is like, there's a few costs. One is there's a metabolic cost. So like to like just listen and try to think about it, like literally takes energy. And like we have a limited number of like calories we're burning, and our brain is consuming most of those. And so I want to like keep my brain like at its like highest functioning level. So if I start like burning up a bunch of brain calories to listen back to take 2, which we already know is the take, like what is the like, that's a metabolic cost that like I'm not sure I'm willing to pay, because that is a zero-sum game. Like we don't get that back today. We might get that back tomorrow, but we're not going to get it back today.
Wow. Great point.
The other thing that happens when we listen to music, like, and I'm just going to stay on this example of to figure out or to confirm we have the take. I did air quotes there, podcast universe. The other thing that happens is we hear things that aren't part of that process. So we're trying to hear the information for the take. So first of all, for everybody in the band, if there's more people, that's different information for all of them. So now we're going to be in information, we're not going to be lined up with the information we have. Bass players like, we got it. And they're saying that because they like the bass, or maybe they like the drums. And the drum player's like, we don't got it. And they're saying that because they don't like the keyboard. And the keyboard player says, we got it. And they're saying that because they love the vocal. And the vocal is like, we definitely didn't get it. And they said that because they were thinking about their like X during the playback. And it's all really hard to pin down. Not only that, but we're hearing things that we like aren't meant to be analyzing. So like, how do you disentangle, did we get the take from, do you like the sound of the snare, which we can change later?
Right.
Or it maybe not is in the right position right now. And so now it's like, well, I don't know. How do I disentangle that? And even if you're not thinking that in your conscious brain, your subconscious mind is full of that information. And so that's going to distort your listening process. So now we're in a confused and distorted listening process, which is where everybody is on different planes, and we're trying to make a decision. That sounds like conflict. That sounds like the potential for, I like the take. Well, I don't like the take. Well, who gets to pick? Now someone's going to be disappointed. No matter what the outcome is, someone's going to be disappointed. So now we have conflict, we have disappointment, we have anxiety, we have distorted listening, and it came at a metabolic cost, and we just had lunch, and we don't have time to recover metabolically. So for that reason, I have a strong opinion that we should not be listening to playback in the studio when we can avoid it. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but when we can avoid it, we don't. And I've been making records like that now for about a year. It's really fun.
That's really awesome. So basically,
it's super fun.
The band has to trust you, the producer, to say that was the take, and I'm going to take it from here.
Yeah, or trust themselves. You know, it's not. I mean, it's not like Phil is decider and everybody else just does what I say. You know, we can democratically discuss whether that was the take depending on the structure of that session and the power structure of what's happening. Like, who's in charge? Am I in charge, or is the singer in charge, or is there another person who's in charge, or is the drummer in charge? I mean, it's every session is different. Even if I'm the producer, I might not be the person picking the takes for various reasons.
But at least everybody's on the same page of we're not going to listen back to this.
Yeah, it's the listening that's the mistake. It's not the discussing what the take is. We have to be able to discuss what just happened, but we were all just there. We all heard it. We can bring all our biases to that moment, but we don't need to like listen and then have our we already have enough biases just from that moment. We don't need to listen and have like 1 gazillion new biases thrown at us to like fight about it. So yeah, we just picked a take that we did. Or, you know, if we're doing like takes, that's how we do it. Or if it was like vocals or whatever we're doing. And yeah, then we don't listen and we just go to the next thing.